Well, I did my manual brake upgrade, and I have found out since that I calculated the size of my master cylinder incorrectly. So we are going to swap this out. So this is a 15/16 bore master cylinder, and with the bore and the stroke that this one has, it doesn't push enough fluid for me to stop. I can, yeah, I need to stop. So what I did was I'm actually going with another unit that I just got. So this is a 93 Cobra Mustang master cylinder, and it has a 1-inch bore, and it's got a longer stroke and can push more fluid. So I'm gonna go with this guy, and it should fix this issue. Let's get to it. Alright, so a little comparison here. This is the master cylinder that I took out, and the brake lines have a double flare versus a single flare. So I had to go grab a couple of parts, and this is what we came up with. So the other lines are 3/16, so I'm just going to put an adapter on the end here. And I've got these two that will go into the master cylinder here. Should be a pretty easy deal. I will just have to bend these lines a little bit. Show you the flare there. So that's the style we're looking at here versus what these other guys were here. Oh, and I forgot, for those who are not aware, I guess I cut the video a little short, but after you remove these two bolts that hold the master cylinder in, the rod right here. So on this master cylinder, you can see there's not a rod that's attached in here, so it'll come out when you pull the master cylinder. So on some of them, you won't have to get in there and remove the clip that holds this end onto the brake pedal. But the other one that I just took out, I will show you. So this is actually attached in there. There's a clip that's down inside on this master cylinder in here that holds this rod into there. So this one I had to unclip the push rod from the brake pedal so that I could get this assembly out. So there's a look at the lines. So this one is for the rear. You can see I just gave that a little bend, went underneath the master cylinder, and I've got a fitting underneath it to join the two lines together. So right underneath here, and then I just came up a little swirl, and then into my rear proportioning valve. The fronts, I'm going to have a little connection piece here. So we'll just come up right into it and then into the initial line that I had going to there. So you can see I had to reconfigure a few things because I realized I had done this backwards. This is for the front brakes and this is for the rear brakes, and I had hooked them up backwards. So I made the lines that I had work. So I moved my proportioning valve right up there. Still has adjustability. It's not really attached to here, but the brake line doesn't move much, so I'm not really worried about it. And then the other line goes underneath and out to that line, which goes into my line lock here. If you guys haven't seen my line lock video on suggestions on how to install a line lock, I'll put a link for you guys. It's a really good video, kind of details taking out the stock proportioning valve that's right there that both the front and the rear brakes go into, and you just split it up. So you put your line lock in between where your Your primary line comes in and it goes splits out to either side, and then this goes to your rear brakes for proportioning them. But anyways, I finally got that squared away, and I got the rear brakes bled. Now I've got to do the front brakes and then a test drive to make sure that I have good brakes. Previously I had to pump it a few times to get it to stop, so I should have a lot better results now. So again, this master cylinder has a 1-inch bore. The previous one had a 15/16, and the stroke was also shorter, so I wasn't pushing as much fluid. This one should help with the issue I was having with the spongy brake pipe. So good. A lot better than they were. Oh yeah. Better than we were. I think I'm going to take that as a win. I can actually stop my car now. It's obviously not quite like power brakes, but stop.